inspired you to create or lead Payswix?
It's a very good question. Inspiration came already a long time ago, even before we came actually to Lithuania, because we, with our partners, like we started the business, especially financial sector, we started about 10, 15 years ago in creating the module, how actually we can benefit and be different in actually financial sector. So we came up with the idea to come to Lithuania. At that time was still was good time to actually to create, like EMIs or financial sectors was still booming on the top. And we came up with the idea, and actually that was what was not on the market yet, basically why we be different. So we came up with agency models to come and work basically at Payswix, and this has inspired us that the product which is not on the market yet, and we're bringing something which is actually needed, so he made us different. And that means that when we came this product, we looked at lots of EMIs were struggling that time, not even only EMIs, but also other payment institutions struggling that time to get IBANs, to get rails connected to the, let's say, Centralink, to issue anything, any instruments which helps actually to do the payments. Because that time only we're giving every single jurisdiction, we're giving only basically the license, naked license. That means nothing else. That means you need to go to the banks, you need to look for, like for the correspondent to start working. Because without the banks, without the clearing system, you are no one actually at that time, and you only rely on them, and that's it. So this is what we came up with, like with a new idea. Actually, we were the first, I'm assuming we were the first legally actually obliged and legally completed agency model, which is we offered such a model to financial institutions actually to work under our license, actually and gaining the rails immediately, like the Centralink, and our agents could basically work straight away to the other financial institutions, to other merchants issuing IBANs working through us. And this was simple, basically, because we were monitoring, our agents, and we know the activity, and it was much easier for us to control them towards the anti-money laundering and everything else. So this was actually inspired because to be unique with something which is not on the market yet, and this is what we decided, to be someone, who can actually help to others to actually the boost, the financial market, or basically to create something which is not there.
How does Payswix stand out in the rapidly growing fintech industry?
Um, as every single company, they're trying to again to be unique, to be transparent towards the merchants, transparent towards basically the full financial system. So because you see the financial sector is already on a boom, and it's already also on the top, and everyone they got already the same services, and everyone's trying to push for the same services to the same merchants to sell, and mainly everyone knows each other already in the market. To be different and to grow basically into market, you need to bring always new ideas, new services. Like I see, we already started as a banking sector. Like at Payswix itself, we are working from the banking side, issuing IBANs, doing transfers, currency exchanges. But what we see in the market actually, when the merchant comes, they're always requesting more ideas, more services, and which we already noticed that in a financial market, all those services are actually separated, and we decided to put everything together. So starting from the banking sector, issuing IBANs, doing transfers, currency exchanges, adding more services like crypto exchanges. Despite that, we're not allowed to actually to touch crypto. We actually found the way how we can legally work and help merchants who actually wants to do the crypto on ramp, off ramp, basically, and adding more open banking services will helps for the merchants as well, working more efficiency. Also, instant SEPA, which everyone's been waiting, like since we started a company, it was huge, like requirements to have an instant SEPA, but now we met all the targets and actually we have everything what we needed. We're launching also instant SEPA. Also, the good news that by growing rapidly and be among, like still working profitable companies in fintech companies in Lithuania, we adding another service as acquiring services. Like we already process as a Visa, Mastercard principal members. I think once we receive it, so it's already on the last stage. I think it will be the greatest achievement on Payswix, and will be actually different scales on the marketing. And we'll offer a complete solution, one-stop solution to any merchant who wants to work with us. And I think will be again a change of Payswix era.
What's your vision for the future of payments and financial technology?
It's very interesting question. And like always, the payments will be here. Like we're starting. Like the economy is growing, everything is there, but always we're saying, like some jobs are being gone, and some jobs being created. But always financial sector, and especially to payments, always growing and actually rapidly changing its options basically. And the future for the payments, as like lots of countries going cashless, lots of going, online towards online payments, more and more, many countries already adding lots of features. As for the basics, I could say, future of our payments, like we're adding more technology. As these days on the boom, like there's AI. When it started the blockchain, like everyone thought, wow, blockchain is amazing. Everything we can put on a blockchain, all the systems gather together. You don't need anymore, as for the merchant side, you don't need anymore to go and do again and again onboarding process, because everyone thought, on the blockchain everything will be connected on the same blocks. Everyone will be sharing the information. But despite that, still regulations are a bit of tough, and it's hard to actually to put together. But however, it works still perfect, it's works more smoother. And now it's AI coming, and everyone's talking only AI, artificial intelligence, which is also great because AI will help for everyone actually to change the mindset, how it works within an organization. For some companies, AI will help on ID verification more smoother. Then they don't need to get into the database, which is AI will help you automatically to gather information. For basically anti-money laundering, for if you talk about transaction monitoring, also when you're transferring bulk payments or any payments you do, AI will help you to actually generate and learn and the whole data being submitted. So in ease you can find out if it was fraudulent payments or not. Same as the smart contracts will be, like everything on the blockchain as well, or AI, like smart contracts will be in place. No longer needed a physical, basically signatures, going to elsewhere. Everything will be collected through the, like blockchains, and AI will be helping that to generate a smooth process on exchanging agreements between the parties and etc. Many factors, it's working on the technology, because these days everyone's talking, let's do AI, let's do this and that. First of all, you need to understand the company's, aims, because as a payment institution, AI will work really a big part of it, because like I said, it will help us to improve and actually improve. In terms of stability, improves of fast efficiency, because everyone, as especially in financial field, it's really hard to find professional employees basically with good skills. And AI that will help us basically to shorten maybe, not the employees, but shorten the time and help existing employees to actually to complete the tasks, and help on growing the business rather than you're struggling with, let's say, the compliance issues you have and everything else. AI as a CEO, also as in technology, it's a huge opportunity because everything is replaceable now. Anyone like merchants, they want basically any information regards to payments. They simply go even on the AI tools, ChatGPT, everyone's using, and simply type in which is the best platform, providing this and that, what is the I can get, if I need a Visa, MasterCard, which is the best place to go and get it, to process the payments for that. If I'm e-commerce, which is the best place, I go to get some information which is relying, and to my business, which is reflects on that. AI is new, like I said, AI it's something, it's new generation comes, which is everything goes into the automated system, which is probably humans don't need to do much, only basically to monitor and see how the artificial intelligence basically replaces all, and actually, of course, a human makes human errors, and everyone's saying once the AI implemented, there's no be errors. But again, who's going to monitor the computers? Who's going to monitor all artificial, intelligence? Again, it's a human still. So we need to be here, and we still be work with it as it is.
What is the most rewarding part of running a fintech company?
I don't know about a fintech company, but I would say about the Payswix itself. The most rewarding part when I see the company basically is growing, and I rely on the people who work with me, and they rely on me. And for me, most important is the people. Not because the people, it's them who actually drives the company, and if the people actually got a good tools, and good what you're calling the head of a company who understands and everyone's happy. I think this is most important in our organization. If you look after your employees, then employees will look after you. I think the best reward for me that we still, among lots of EMIs, especially in Lithuania, we're still profitable, and we're still here, and we're still growing. And the company, when we started from a few people, now it's more than 40 people, and it's really good that we got our name already, and everyone knows already Payswix, and we know how we work. We have many employees who are already in our organization since the beginning, and I'm really happy that they feel comfortable and they trust this organization. They trust the way we work, and they know that we can achieve much more when we are now.
What's the biggest misconception banks have about fintech?
It's a very good question. This question actually I've been giving from very beginning. We started even the Payswix, which is 2017. Misconception, basically, banks always think that as we are fintechs here, we actually lack of information, lack of knowledge, lack of people, and we actually here to take fraudulent transactions, do something really not according what AML, MI rules are, and mainly banks, they think that we're here not for the purpose. The banks always think that if you're a bank, you're doing according to books, and you are better than fintech because you have already people working with you, already trust, because banks been there for hundreds of years, and the fintech's been just 10 or 15 or 20 years already, something like this. And the biggest problem, it's the trust. As I mentioned before, when the EMI has a license, gets from regulator thinks that you'll be doing all right. You work decently, you work according to books, you follow the anti-money laundering rules and everything else. And they're saying, look, if you want to connect to the banks, you just simply go, you provide them with the documents because you're allowed to work with the banks as your correspondents. But normally we're having always a trouble once we connect, to the banks and asking for such a thing. Banks always looking to us from up to down, and they're saying, no, we're not going to onboard you basically because you are the threat. Like you're always bringing to us the threat as a negativity, like the fraud scales, high fraud scales, and everything else. And again, like this is talking from fintech side, but let's talk also from the merchants, from the consumer side. Not every also consumer can open accounts in a bank account, like in the banks. Biggest problem by the banks also checks running the checks about them, if it's suspicious persons and everything else. Despite that, if you as a merchant you're opening a new company, the bank saying you don't have experience, we cannot open a bank accounts, and there's numerous excuses, which is merchants simply had enough, and especially the fees, because for the many years banks been dominating on any scale of the whole financial sector. But when we fintech came, basically we put us some turbulence in the system, and we actually become transparent more and flexible on the fees, or on everything what merchant needs it. We look into them, we provide them what they need. Despite that, we still need to be strong on the anti-money laundering system, because of course some merchants they try to break the laws, but we need to stop them. But like I mentioned, from the merchant side, or for consumer side, they're always now coming to EMIs, because like I mentioned, we're more flexible. We look into consumers' needs or merchants' needs. We process, we listen to them, and we provide the best efficiency, the best services, which is despite that banks are too big probably for that, and treat individually, like each merchant. But we treat every single merchant individually as its own, and actually it doesn't matter if we can onboard or not, but it's the same equal rules for everyone, especially if it passes compliance checks and everything. Why not? We're providing the best solution as we can, especially as I mentioned, we are a one-stop solution for any services in our organization.
If you weren't running Payswix, which industry would you be working in?
Actually, I wouldn't change anything. Even the Payswix or not, I love financial sector. It's my sector, which is I feel comfortable. Even before Payswix, many years ago, I worked for the various financial industries like Western Union, and others, like big players, and I learned quite a lot. Like I mentioned before, in our life, you need to do what you like to do. Basically, it's not what someone's telling you to do, and for you to choose your specialty or anything. In my life, I changed so many jobs, and I couldn't find myself anywhere else, starting from different areas, from the student sides, from constructions and labor, jobs. But later on I found out that financial sector is the best sector you can get, and I see myself still there. Despite that, if I was not in a Payswix, or, in the future, let's say anything could possibly happen, I'm still probably in the same sector, It's all about yourself, how dedicated you are, if you don't love the job and you're sitting, at work, there is no future for it. There is a good saying, what will happen, if you don't invest in, what happens if you invest in your employees and they leave, and there's, there's good answer to that I have. What happens if you basically don't invest in your employee and he stays? So it's opposite. It's all about mentality. It's all about what you want. It's all about how you're passionate about your job. I'm passionate about my job a lot. I'm always looking for new ideas. I'm always looking for new opportunities. Not for myself, but I'm looking for the company itself. Financial sector is the one sector which is driven. When you're seeing from very beginning, all artificial AIs, everything is changing. Soon we have cars which is drives without a driver. Lots of people are losing jobs because the new technology is coming. But one thing I noticed in the financial sector, and especially when I was young, I said, what this would not change basically, and still will be developing, it's the money, it's the financial, it's everything basically which is will be stable for many, many years in the future.
If you could describe Payswix in one emoji, what would it be?
I would say if one, maybe or two. So first of all, the fun, and the second will be the smile.
What would you wish for Payswix?
For Payswix, I wish actually more stability, more growth, more transparency for everything we do, more ideas, expand, like globally, not only to be, like among big players in Lithuania, but globally. This is our basically aim, to have more employees, to have more services, to have more merchants. Basically everything I wish which we have now and actually will have in the future.